I got invited to a party once, a fancy party with like 700 attendees where we all had to dress nice and behave. But they had rented out a warehouse and basically had a rave. It was insane. Look, I'm being vague about this party on purpose, okay? The last time I was at this party, there was this one dude in the parking lot who brought some lettuce to the party. He was super cool and everyone wanted to hang out with him, and he was sharing his lettuce with anyone who asked. And before the party, I thought to myself, it is legal now. I had the brilliant idea that I was going to be the cool guy at the party, and I was going to bring the lettuce, and everyone was going to want to hang out with me. That turned out to not be such a good idea. So the party always started with some we had to sit through. Like there was a comedy skit on stage, then some finance bros showed a PowerPoint about what an awesome year it had been. Okay, so we did all that, but it was too early to dance, and now we're all just kind of standing around holding drinks and staring at each other. I don't know 700 people, so I just said to the people around me, I'm gonna go for a walk if anyone wants to go. 3 guys immediately came out of nowhere and were like, I'll go on a walk with you. I was like, yes, it's happening. My dreams of being the coolest guy at this party are coming true. Some amount of time passed. I have no idea how much. I realized I was standing at the edge of the empty dance floor just staring at it, and I had no idea how long I'd been doing that. Then I suddenly crushed my plastic drink cup. It felt involuntary, like it startled the shit out of me, but ice and tomato juice went everywhere, and I started to panic. One other time in my life, after doing a little too much lettuce, I did actually have a full-blown panic attack. Lying on my back on my living room floor with my wife holding my head like a baby going, focus on my voice, you are in a safe place, everything is okay, while I cried my eyeballs out. And it was happening again. I excused myself to the restroom and locked myself in one of the stalls, pacing around in there going, you are not in danger, everything is okay, box breathing and shit. Some amount of time passed, and I realized I had no idea how long I'd been in there doing that. Someone's gonna knock on the door and ask if I'm all right, and it's gonna be a whole thing. So I had to leave. I went all the way to the very back of the room and leaned on the back wall and pretended to poke my locked phone screen, taking deep breaths. When I realized I was not going to have a panic attack and it was starting to let go of me, I went and found the one person at the party that I do know. I was like, yo, how high do I look right now? He was like, you don't look high, you look fine, just calm down. Then I see someone coming to talk to us who looked important. She was wearing a headset, and I had seen her walking around shaking people's hands, and she was headed right for us. I looked around, but there was no escape. She goes, are you guys having a good time? And we were like, yeah. Then she looked right at me, shook my hand, and said some long string of words that had a question mark on the end of it, and I didn't get a single word of it. I was like, what? And she said the whole thing again, and I didn't get any of it the second time either, and I couldn't ask her to repeat it a third time, and I didn't know what else to do, so I just started going, I'm sorry, I can't hear you over this music. I'm really sorry. She gave me a suspicious look, but then she went to talk to someone else. I was like, I need to go home. I guess the moral of the story is, don't do drugs at fancy parties.